Hello and welcome. My name is Simon French and I'm Chief Economist at Panmure Gordon. Today we're going to take a look at the outlook for global equities in an environment where there really is only one topic at the moment that is focusing investors' mind, and that is COVID-19, but specifically what some of the earnings estimates that, a lot of the valuations that we've become familiar with, how they're going to be affected by significant disruption in Europe, in the US, in fact, in most of the world. The earnings this year were expected to be a marginal improvement on 2019. There was, going into 2020, an expectation that the stimulative efforts of central banks in 2019 would lead to a modest pickup in global growth towards about maybe 3.5%. What we now see as a result of COVID-19 is as a minimum, we're going to see growth go down to 1.5% maximum, but it's possible that we will test some of the 2009 levels of negative global economic growth, and the pass-through to corporate earnings will be highly significant. So going into this episode, global equities were at around 15 to 16 times earnings. We've already seen a sell-off across the world of about a third, so that has brought that down to about 10, 11. We have to say that in the teeth of the financial crisis, that got down to about 8 times earnings. But of course, in the financial crisis, there was that impairment of earnings that we haven't yet seen. We're starting to see companies come out and provide guidance, but a lot of the biggest earners across the global equity market have suspended earnings estimates. Therefore, it's very difficult to know what a true valuation is. There is another element right now which is weighing on markets, and that is very much technical selling, redemptions, as investors just look at the headlines and take a flight into cash. So it's quite disorderly markets, which is why we have seen governments and central banks trying to underpin confidence to avoid a very negative cycle of financing being removed for companies and then reinforcing what is already going to be a negative earnings hit with real uncertainty on what the financing options are going forward. And to conclude, what you really are looking for is fiscal policy makers, governments around the world, to use their resources to enable companies to see through what is likely to be temporary disruption, provide additional unemployment insurance, sick pay, take the weight off cash flow outflows from corporates by letting them hold on to tax receipts, delaying the moment they have to pay federal authorities in terms of their tax receipts, and subsidise employment so that when what is a medical crisis passes, the real economy can pick back up in terms of its output, because resources haven't been left completely idle, but they've just been supported through this process through a subsidy. In that environment, then some of the sell-offs, the disorderly sell-offs we've seen in recent weeks should start to correct quite quickly. If not, there's even further that could fall.